NFL Week 5 best bets. In this video, we go through every single game on Sunday as well as Monday Night Football. Give your favorite side or total in every single game. They're all timestamped down below. As always, my name is Austin. Thank you for tuning in. I am joined by Logan. And Logan, I got to give you your flowers. Last week, you turned in a positive week for the people, 9-7. We like to see what that you're cooking. 56% on the year. I went 7-9 actually. My first losing week dropped me to 62%. Bad week for me. It just was not good. It ended with 0-2 on primetime. We hate to see that, but let's talk about your best bet of the week, Logan. You cashed that. That was a first half cash. Patriots team total. I mean, fading your own team is diabolical, but I love it. And it cashed so easily. I'm a little frustrated because my first half team total in the Eagles Bucks game, he had the blocky punt return for a touchdown. When that happened, I was just like, all right, we're done. And I really like Jaguars plus 3.5. I was between both of those. But either way, Logan, let's dive into things. We do want to put a note out there. If Logan and I cash our best bets of the week, we go 2-0. 1-0 for me, 1-0 for Logan. We're doing a $25 giveaway. Here's how you enter. You go down below and you comment the player that you think will have the most rushing yards on Sunday. It could be Saquon Barkley. It could be Justin Fields. It could be Derrick Henry. Whoever you want, comment, and you could win $25 if Logan and I can go 2-0. As always, the best bet segment is saved to the end of the video. But Logan, final note before we dive into things, if you want all of our plays, the ones we actually put our money on, join the Dub Club. The link is down below. Only $5 for your first month. Get on in there. Join it. Join the community. You get exclusive plays, parlays, and stuff like that. And you get to sweat out the ladder challenge with us as well. All right, Logan, let's dive into things. So we begin with our first game as we head back out and an international game. Again, like I said last week, 4 straight international games on Sunday morning. I don't know if I like the Sunday morning things. Maybe we can touch on that later in life. But you have the Vikings staying out there as they face the Cleveland Browns. I know the Vikings are trying to get that bad taste out of their mouth from last week. Logan, what are you feeling in this game? First game of the weekend at 9:30 in England.
I think the travel aspect is going to play a little bit of a key here because the fact that the Vikings are overseas and they're staying overseas, I think that's going to play pretty well for them. So I'll lay the points with Minnesota in this one. That's kind of where my head's at. I just don't want to take a shot on Dylan Gabriel, the rookie quarterback, making his first start. Now, sometimes you can get lucky with a rookie quarterback making his first start, like we saw with Jackson Dart. However, I knew what I was getting with Jackson Dart. I don't really know in this Cleveland offense what I'm going to get because what is this offense really structured around? It's not extremely explosive. Their offensive line is good, but again, Minnesota is probably going to play a pretty aggressive defense. I think they're going to get after Dylan Gabriel in this one, just make life very difficult. And as you mentioned, the Vikings did have a letdown spot against Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh's a good team. They just, they overpowered them. I don't see the same thing coming with the Cleveland offense. They are not as good. Minnesota wins this one, and they win it pretty comfortably.
Dude, I hate that we're both on the Vikings, man. This is
Not
what we did
again,
last week.
dude.
We both went 0-2,
Oh,
man. Come on.
oh.
But I agree with you because I feel like if I go away from the Vikings right now, they look good. They win this game, 20-10 or something like that. And I'm just like, why didn't they run it back? But I agree. I think the travel, staying out there, granted, they are going from Ireland to London to England. So not a big difference there, though, whereas the Browns got to travel all the way across. And you're right, Dylan Gabriel coming out here. Obviously, I'm a UCF guy, so I watched Dylan Gabriel a lot, and I've tracked him, when he went to Oklahoma, Oregon, and whatnot. I think he'll be good for them this season, but I don't think it's in week 1. And I think Dylan Gabriel feels like a very similar QB to Aaron Rodgers, not in the sense of they'll have similar careers, but in the sense of when they get the ball, they're getting it out quick to their first read. And I feel like the Vikings struggled against that last week. I think they're better this week, and I think they make Dylan Gabriel have to second guess, go to second, third reads, but then I could see him making a mistake. And I think that Vikings defense shows up because, man, they did not look good last week. They'll show up. You always know Kevin O'Connell has a good offensive game plan. I think they win that one and cover 3.5. Next one, we head to the 1 o'clock slate as you're the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Indianapolis Colts. And we're on the street, Logan. Pre-show, you told me your best bet of the week is in this game. So if you want to know Logan's pick, you're going to stay till the end of the video. Logan will try to go to 4-1 on his best bets. We're both 3-1. That's pretty dang good. I'll talk about this game real quick, and then we'll get to the next game. I like the Colts minus 6.5. Look, I get Ashton Genty got going finally. And you could say, hey, he switched his Michael Myers pose. Heck no, it was just the dang Bears. It does not count. Those stats are empty. They don't mean anything to me. The Bears literally cannot stop the run to save their lives. I don't see that being the same case here against the Colts, man. Colts, you could argue, should have beaten the Rams if Mitchell doesn't drop that ball in the end zone, if he also has a hold on a long Jonathan Taylor run at the end of the game. I think this Colts team, I know I was out on them but I'm back in. I like what I saw out of them against the Rams. Although the Rams still did they cover that game? I don't really remember. But either way, I'm rolling with the Colts. But we'll move on because Logan doesn't have anything else to say. You can hear his thoughts at the end of the video. Logan, let's talk about the team that you're closest to, the Philadelphia Eagles, playing host to the Denver Broncos. If you guys watched our podcast that we post on Tuesday, every Tuesday, you would have heard that I'm going to shave my head if the Broncos win the Super Bowl. So I am anti-Broncos here, but Logan, I've talked enough. What do you like in this game, and what's the pulse on Eagles, AJ Brown, and everything in between, not completing a pass in the second half? How are we feeling here?
Yeah, catch your breath, man. And hopefully you won't be shaving your head because, again, this is not a good spot for the Denver Broncos. I'll take the Eagles. I'll lay the points with them. There's just some teams that find ways to win, and I feel like that's what this Eagles team does. On the road in Tampa Bay, I thought that might be, a little bit of a slip-up spot to them, and they still, as you mentioned, they did not complete a pass in the second half and still found a way to win that ball game. They made the stops when they needed to. It wasn't pretty, not pretty at all, but they did. Now coming back home to Philadelphia, do I see Bo Nix in this Denver offense going in and just lighting it up? No, I don't, and that's because I just don't have faith in them. They there's just some sort of aspect where they can't get out of their own way. And you watch when they play the better teams, you look great against the Bengals. Most teams would look good against that defense. Not against the Eagles. The Eagles will be able to scheme up something for Bo Nix. He's going to have at least 2 turnovers. I don't care if it's a fumble, strip sack fumble, interception. That guy is so reckless with the football, and against better teams, that's not going to pay. So give me the Eagles, and I'll lay the points.
I like that pick. I do. I'm not going to tell you again, but I do like the over in this game. A rare over on my card, although I do have some team totals incoming. I talked about this when I was celebrating the ladder challenge, day 5 cashing. I mean, this is just they refuse to run the football, and I could see that going here where they're just refusing to run it. And granted, it's not a great matchup to run the football against the Eagles, and I could just see the Broncos airing it out a ton, and I could see them having some success. I feel like teams that really struggle against the Eagles really rely on one guy. Whereas, this is a Broncos team that has a ton of different pass catchers, obviously led by Cortland Sutton, but they got Trotman going. We'll see if Evan Ingram gets anything going, but Troy Franklin, they also got Marvin Mims as well. So they got a lot of different weapons. So I think that will help them here to pick their matchups against the Eagles, score some points. On the other side, I think the Eagles will be able to run the ball like crazy. We said if we're going to do a $25 giveaway, if someone can guess the person that leads the league in rushing on Sunday, I'd probably lean towards Saquon. I know he hasn't had a good start, but it's eventually going to get going. Chase Brown didn't look terrible. It's just that his team literally couldn't convert for third downs. I think you would see Saquon finally break through. I might take his over in rush yards, but I don't know if it's come back down from the crazy numbers it was at ending the Super Bowl last year. But I do agree with you. I think the Eagles score a lot of points. They probably cover here. I like the over, though. A little rare over for Austin. Next one, we could honestly spend 30 seconds on this game as the Giants are on the road taking on the Saints. I mean, I get Jackson Dart's fun, and he's got a big following. We love him. Cam Scatterbo, love him. But, man, this game reeks. I mean, you got right now the Saints are favored at -2.5, -125 on the money line, over under at 40.5. Logan, what's the play here? And when we can get the heck out of here, so make it quick.
Yeah, I know this is not my favorite, game to talk about on paper because it's just a weird one. I'll take the Giants and I'll take their team total over. Right now I'm seeing 19.5. I think that's a fair number. And I mean that's a a couple touchdowns, a couple field goals that will get you there to 20 points. That's what I can see this Giants offense doing. I don't really want to trust their road defense. Well, I could see an angle, for backing the Giants on the spread. Just not my favorite pick. That being said, I like what Jackson Dart's doing into this offense. Again, he adds a second dimension that Russell Wilson's not going to be able to do. Cam Scatterbo is a great runner. I just think they put up a few touchdowns on the Saints team.
I like the pick. I'm on the other side, not taking the Saints in any capacity. In fact, fading them. Saints team total under 21.5. On our podcast, I talked about at the end of the video. I wanted to bring up something, but I couldn't remember it. And then I remember it after the show, and I haven't talked about it to you since. Is there any cooler sack celebration than Spida Burns?
Yeah, I know.
Like that thing is awesome. Whenever my wife is always watching when I'm on the red zone. She's not watching, but whenever something cool happens, I'm like, I pointed out, like, hey, you'll like this play. It'd be like a ball hitting someone's helmet and someone else catching it. I showed her the Spida Burns. She was like, that's pretty cool. She was a little confused. But anyways, I really liked what I saw out of the defense last week. Abdul Carter, Spida Burns. I mean, they made Justin Herbert's life hell. I mean, Harbaugh was saying after the game, like, hey, we got to have Herbert stop taking so many hits. And I think that was credit to, I mean, sure, they lost Joe Alt and some guys on the offensive line, but credit to the Giants D-line. Their D-line is pretty good. The secondary, I feel like, needs a little bit of work here, but I'm not too afraid of this Saints passing attack. I mean, Chris Olave, we got him throwing interceptions now. I don't know what the hell that's going on. I just don't know if they put up more than 3 touchdowns. So I could see them maybe scoring 20 on the dot, maybe getting 17. Maybe this is a tight game. I'll fade them. I'd like the Giants. This is a weird spot for them. But I'll fade the Saints here. Team total under 21.5. I like your team total over as well. The next game we move to is an interesting one, as we have the Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Now, as Logan and I record this at 8:40 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday evening, it appears Lamar Jackson is going to be out of this game. And based on the reports, I think that's pretty clear. So it looks like we're getting Cooper Rush under center. Logan, what are you feeling here? Because pre that news, we saw the Ravens are like 6.5, 7.5 point favorites. Clearly, Lamar being out has shifted this line completely. What are you feeling on this one?
Yeah, this one is an interesting one. It's kind of like the last game. It's just I don't really want to get caught on a side, and when I don't want to get caught on a side, I want to isolate variables. And when I do that, I take a team total. This time, I'm taking the Texans team total under 21.5. I don't want to back Cooper Rush in any form of fashion. It's just he's not backup quarterbacks like that. They can come in and have decent outings every now and then, but I don't want to try to throw darts and guess when that is. What I want to do is I want to fade an offense that I still have not, a whole lot of faith in, and that's the Texans. Terrible offensive line. This Ravens defense is a little banged up front, Matabike out, but still they will be able to generate some pressure on CJ Stroud. When you're able to generate pressure on CJ Stroud, just get the ball out quick. I don't see a whole lot of red zone efficiency coming from this Texans offense. And, to cash this team total, you're going to need a few touchdowns. Woody Marks, I like what he's doing on the ground. I mean, it adds a little bit of a running game, but I still think the Ravens are able to stop that. So all that being said, I want to isolate it to just the Ravens defense, and I have faith in them being able to stop the Texans on the road in this spot.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Team total under 21.5 for the Texans. Obviously, we needed some Ravens victories for one of our futures. We would love some Ravens. Cooper Rush. And Cooper Rush has filled in for Dak Prescott in the past and actually been, serviceable. It's not like he's going out there and setting the world on fire. We're like, oh man, this guy should be a starter in the league. But he has been serviceable in years past, covering, winning these games. And I think you're going to see a heavy dosage of Derrick Henry. So if you want to put his name down below in the comments to potentially win $25, I wouldn't blame you. Not a great matchup against the Texans, but you said it yourself. I mean, the Texans' offensive line is a problem and a half. And I get the Ravens are dealing with injuries. Matabike, a big loss for him. And Marlon Humphrey probably out this week. But look, bad defenses can look good against the Texans. That is how bad their offense is. And I get Cam Moore in that offense for the Titans really stunk it up. And I'm pretty sure by the end of that game, by the third, fourth quarter, the Titans defense was like, we're tired. We're just done. We don't care. So I think you'll see effort from the Ravens here. I mean, the last 2 weeks, people are calling their defense trash, but let's keep in mind, they faced the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead when they finally got Worthy back. I mean, two probably top 10 offenses. I think this is a bottom 10 offense, and that's being nice. I like what you're rolling with, Logan. Let's tag team the Texans. Let's fade them. Next game. Oh man, this is could be the brother.
Ooh.
My New York Jets playing host to the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys coming off that game on Sunday night, an emotional one, tie game. Pickens was after the game saying he didn't even know games could end in ties. Don't know if you need to say that. That's probably not a great look, but love it. My New York Jets looked abysmal on Monday. So my favorite pick actually in this one, and I almost did it for my best bet. I'm taking Dallas. I'm taking their team total over 23.5. It could be square back in Dallas. I have no idea. I mean, the sharp bettors will be on the Jets, but I don't want to try to get sharp taking the Jets. I watched that offense on Monday, and this is a short week. How quickly are we going to fix things? The Jets left everything wide open for the Dolphins. I mean, Tyreek Hill, get well soon to him. He was wide open. It's like they had never heard of him. It's like he was a rookie. They're like, oh, whoa, the practice squad guy. No, they left him wide open. And Sauce Gardner, anytime he's targeted, he gets called for a penalty. And now he's saying, oh, it's because we're a bad team or whatever the hell he was saying. I'm so out on the Jets. They're so undisciplined. Their offense can't stay on the field either. I'll take the Cowboys. I'll take their team total over. I could see the Jets somehow covering this one. Maybe this is a game just like we saw in that week one Jets and Steelers game, where the Jets covered the 2.5 but still lost. I have no idea. Logan, you getting sharp? What are you doing here, man? I want to get out of here. Jets make me sad.
Yeah, I know they do, buddy. It's all right. We're both fans of bad teams. We'll touch on
We'll
mine
get
in
to
a
your
second.
team next. We'll get to
I
your
know, I
Panthers.
know. I'm going to take Dallas on the money line. Yes, it's a little bit juiced, but I still think it's worth the price. And I'll pay to find out how this loses. I'll pay to see the Jets show up in a way that I don't think they're capable of showing up in. Aaron Glenn's in over his head, as teams of bad, as coaches, first year coaches of bad teams are. I mean, that's what happens. You have to change the culture. You have to change the whole team, and that's not going to happen overnight. It's definitely not going to happen on a short week. And you mentioned that Jets defense terrible. Don't need to belabor that point. I think this Dallas offense is finding their stride, even without CeeDee Lamb. I loved what they did with Pickens. Ferguson's still a problem, and Dak Prescott's looking very comfortable in the system. Dallas's defense is terrible, but when bad meets bad, who do I trust here? Because the Dallas defense is bad, but the Jets offense is really bad as well. Give me the more explosive offense being Dallas. They're just going to score more points, and that's how you win and cover.
No, I can't blame you. If CeeDee Lamb was active for this game, and he hasn't officially yet been ruled out, if he was active, he might have 100 yards in the first half.
Good.
Because the Jets, they don't guard crossing routes. It's like you run a crossing route, you are wide open. I don't know what they're doing. But we're basically both back in the Cowboys here. Let's get to your team, Logan. Then we can enjoy the rest of the video. Your Carolina Panthers are playing host to the Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins will obviously be down Tyreek Hill, and I don't know if that factors into the spread here. It's basically pick them. Your Panthers are only a plus 100 on the money line, over under at 45.5. I can lead things off. Logan, I'm going to be on your Panthers.
Oh no! Change your pick, please. Damn. Because
Why?
I
What
was
are you
too.
on? What are you on then?
I was gonna be on Carolina too. We did this. This will not
Oh,
end
that
well.
doesn't pay. That doesn't pay. All right, I'll find a new pick while you talk because we can't both be on Panthers.
I'm the resident Panthers expert here,
Yeah.
but Panthers only work when not the whole world is riding them, and that includes Austin. If Austin and Logan are both on Carolina, Carolina's down 27-3 at halftime, and it's a quick no sweat L. But I do think the Panthers show up in this spot again. At home, that's where I back this team. They play scrappy. They play a lot better in Charlotte. On the road, that's where I think Miami's going to have a little bit of problems because they played well against a terrible, undisciplined Jets team on Monday night. But this Carolina team is scrappy. They are the definition of frisky, except for when they go on the road. Then everything just goes out the window. Canales will have Bryce Young, passing a little bit better. Look, things were open for Fields. He just isn't smart enough to be able to read that yet. Canales will have Bryce Young having his reads there. This is a big Tet McMillan game. Pencil that in, Austin. Remember I said that. It's also going to be a big Chuba Hubbard game. They're going to get him going on the ground again because this offense does not work when Bryce Young is one-dimensional. Give me Carolina on the money line. I really hope you're not joining me on this one. Tell me you found something else.
Yeah, I did. We're both on Panthers. That literally is no shot of hitting. That's how betting works. I'm deciding between two things that I really like. I like the first half under,
Okay.
or should I take the Dolphins first half team total under? I like both of them. Dolphins is 10.5. There is a world where they score 14 and the Panthers score 7. I could see that. There's also a world where maybe the Panthers defense shows up at all. What are you feeling? What
Can
should I
I
do?
persuade you? I want to persuade you to that first half under because game flow wise, the Panthers are not an explosive offense early. It takes them really the second half to adjust. Same with our defense. Our defense can get gassed in the second half, but they look pretty fresh first half. I actually really like that angle. I think you should roll with that.
Add it to my card. I mean, like I said, I like it. It was secondary, but I like it. It's 23.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really just don't trust this Dolphins defense to stop the run. And the Panthers, they face some defenses that they can't really run on. Like the Patriots have actually been a really good rush defense this season. And when they can't do that, it's just, well, all right. Well, now Bryce Young's in second and long, third and long, punt. And that's how you get the Patriots returning punts left and right and stuff like that. I think their special teams will be short up. And I really do think this Panthers offense will score some points in the first half. No, by no means will this be sweat free, but I do think that if the Panthers score, you're going to see a 7-8 minute drive where just like Chuba Hubbard's getting 6-7 yards a carry. He's getting gas. Rico Dowdle's coming in. He's getting 3 or 4 or 5 yards. I think they're going to be long drives. I just need one of those drives to end in a field goal, and I feel really good about it. I just think they'll see some adjustment with Mike McDaniel on the road. No Tyreek. JC Horn's pretty good for the Panthers. He'll probably shadow Jalen Waddle. So you're going to be seeing some lesser known guys making plays. I think they fall asleep there. So I like the first half under. I think your Panthers cashes, but if we're both on it, no chance. So I respect it. You're the resident Panthers expert. If you're on Panthers, I go away. Sound the alarms, Logan. Next game, we head to the 4 o'clock window. Buccaneers on the road taking on the Seahawks. And my best bet of the week is in this game. So I will talk about it at the end of the video. But Logan, right now you're looking at the Bucks as 3.5-point dogs, over under 44.5. What's the move? And then I'll talk about my side at the end of the video.
Also, I'm rolling with the Bucks, and I'll take them plus the points in this one. Now, last week wasn't their week. I mean, they showed a lot of heart at the end to try to come back against the Eagles. Just wasn't enough. Baker Mayfield had a I sent my brother's a Bucks fan, by the way, so this story plays into it. I sent him a Carolina Panthers Baker Mayfield, and I said Baker when you needed him the most today, and it was Baker back in Carolina colors because it's kind of what he regressed to in that moment because you can't throw that. And he knows better. That's what the Bucks have been good because he doesn't make those boneheaded plays. He's just trying to do too much, trying to lead him. That was a weird first half, as you mentioned in that Eagles game. We'll throw that one out the window. Offensively, I still think they're going to be able to put up some points on this very talented Seattle defense. I think Seattle they're laying the 3.5 for a reason here. Their defense is legit. Their offense, though, I think Tampa Bay is going to be able to if this turns into any sort of shootout, though, huge advantage Tampa Bay because they can put a lot of pressure on Sam Darnold. They can stop Walker and Charbonnet and really just turn this into a track meet. And that's I think what's going to happen in this one. I see a lot of points in this one. 44.5 I don't think's high enough. But the better angle, in my opinion, is Bucks. And I think Bucks in a track meet in this one. Give me Baker and the Bucks to bounce back after that Eagles loss.
Yeah, Logan, I like everything you said, but you guys thought I was going to give you my pick now? Come on, no. Stay till the end of the video. All right, Logan, let's keep things moving. Speaking of the Cardinals, they play host to the Tennessee Titans, one of the only left unbeaten teams. Beaten teams. Sorry, Titans fans, you didn't deserve that. Beaten is not the right word to use to describe you guys. But anyways, Titans are currently 7.5-point dogs, over under 41.5. Went back and forth in this game. One of my least favorite. I'm going to take the Cardinals team total under 26.5. I think, obviously, we know every moneyline parlay has Cardinals in it. And I'm not saying the Cardinals lose outright. Heck, I don't fade the Titans into oblivion. But I think their defense might give a little bit of heart here. I'm not saying they set the world on fire, but maybe they give us a chance at cashing this one. Maybe this is Cam Ward's first decent game. I don't really think the coaching staff's helping him. But if you think about Cam Ward, you think about, I think he's better than what he's shown so far. So I think he can go out there and stay on the field because I think that was the problem last week against the Texans. It was just the offense. I mean, if I could pull it up, how bad were they on third down? I want to say they were like 0-13 or something stupid. They were 2 for 11. So again, if they can convert some third downs, I like fading the Cardinals though, mostly because they're just not a team I trust in the red zone right now. Like it's like every red zone possession is them trying to throw a jump ball to Marvin Harrison, just hoping for the best. And I just don't know if that's going to yield a lot of results. No James Conner. So you're relying on Trey Benson, a second-year guy to punch it in the red zone where James Conner was so good at doing. I just don't know if Benson's that guy for punching in so many touchdowns. So I'll fade the Cardinals. I hate it. Let's move on. But Logan, what do you like here?
A rare angle where I think I'm kind of fading you. I'm just going to take the full game over. Now, this can cash in a variety of ways. I don't mind your angle on the team total under. That being said, this Titans defense I still think is a little bit outmatched. I don't think they're going to have an answer for Marvin Harrison Jr., which if I'm the Cardinals, I build off of what happened in that Thursday night game. Even though they lost, they finally got him going late. He's, in NFL, especially in wide receiver, it's half a mental game. And you could tell Marvin was in his own head. I mean, he was dropping passes. He just wasn't looking like himself. And then it was like the switch flipped a little bit, and then he was catching. And I think they're going to try to build off of that. I think they're going to get a lot more cute. And when you get cute, that's what I want for an over. I don't care what they do on the spread, but I think they're just going to not try to have these long drives. I think they're going to try to stretch the field, and you can do that against Tennessee. I mean, hell, Houston, a bad offense, looked great against them. So I'm not really, buying into the Titans defense stopping anybody. And then on the flip side, I mean, Titans offense, can they give me something? I mean, to contribute to this total, it's, 41.5. That's low 40s. I just want something from Cam Ward. I think he puts up a couple touchdowns. He will use his legs in this one, something that the Cardinals aren't that good at defending anyway. Give me the over. Love that.
Look, man, I tried to take a Titans over last week. They couldn't give me anything.
That's why they're scoring points this week.
Oh, you're right. So I was a week late, a week early. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad, big bro. All right. Next game, we go to the Lions taking on the Bengals. Can I just ask for Jameis Winston be traded to Cincy, man? What does the boy have to do to get Jameis with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? Get us some life back in the offense because Jake
Yeah.
Browning has looked like me back there. And granted, I watched one of the highlights before giving to our picks for this game. I watched the highlight. I don't know if you saw this highlight, Logan, where I think the Broncos rushed 3 guys, and they had, I think, 4 guys blocking 1 guy, and the 2 guys on the edge both came around and sacked him. It was just one-on-one. It was bad. If you haven't seen that clip, probably don't watch it if you're a Bengals fan. But Logan, let's give our pick for this one. 10. You're looking at a 10 spread on the road. You just don't see that all too often. What are you feeling here, Logan? Are you getting sharp?
Unfortunately, I'm getting sharp. When it seems too easy, this is the one that I want to target. The one that you just put autopilot your brain and you go Detroit -10 and you just move on. That's where I think that people get into some trouble in this one. Being kind of in that late 4:30 window, that's why I think this one's weird. And I don't think it's weird in the sense that Cincinnati's going to win this game out right now. They could, and they would bust every money line parlay in the league this week. But I could see it being backdoorable. What do I mean by that? Well, I could see a world in which Detroit's up like 14, and then I don't know, maybe they score a late touchdown, just backdoor spread it to where it was one of those. It wasn't close on in watching it, but it wasn't on paper and in the spread wise. Look, what I know about this Detroit offense, they're explosive. They're so outmatched. That Cincinnati defense is so outmatched. That's why I'm saying it feels too easy. It just feels like Detroit should put up 35 by halftime and it just be a no sweat winner. But there's something to be said for playing back at home. Detroit is a way different team outside of Ford Field than they are at home. It's just, it is how it is. If this was in Ford Field, the spread would be significantly higher and I'd be on Detroit. The fact that it's back at Cincinnati and they just got embarrassed on Monday Night Football. Look, these are professional athletes. They're getting nothing out of Hendrickson. They signed him to a contract. They get nothing out of him. I think this defense rises up a little bit and they just play a little bit pesky. Browning can't look any worse than he has. Enough said. Give me Bengals on a prayer.
I was on Bengals too.
Oh my gosh. Just do it though. Have some faith with me.
I rode with them on Monday Night Football and they made me look like an idiot.
Yeah, well,
So I have to do it again. That's the law of betting the NFL. If they don't cover this week, we'll take plus 10.5, I think is what the spread is. They can't cover that at home. I will never bet them again until they get Jameis. If they get Jameis, I'm back in. As long as Browning's under center, this is my final game trying to trust him. But I agree with everything you said, man. It's nasty. But I'm in. But man, that is nasty. But I think they can do it, right? They can. I'm trying to talk myself into it. We'll ride with the Bengals. It's getting sharp, and boy, could we look dumb. We'll move on to the last final game in the 4 p.m. window before we get to Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, and then our best bets of the week. We talk all about the Commanders taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Right now, the Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. The over-under at 48.5. It appears, like I said, we're recording this Tuesday night. Jaden Daniels, if I were to be a betting man, I would say Jaden Daniels back under center. You could have argued he probably would have played last week. Given they lost that game, I think that this game is a game that he does suit up for. Logan, what do you feel in this game, though? Total, side, what do you like?
I'm rolling with the Chargers. I'll lay the points in this one. Jaden Daniels' injury status aside, I just think last week what we saw from the Chargers was just a classic West Coast team traveling East Coast, not really prepared for what they were, faced offensively. They had no idea really what to face with a rookie quarterback. Now coming back home, East Coast traveling West, so a little bit of travel element for the Commanders in this one. That's not that important in this one. I like what they should be able to do up front with the running backs, and Justin Herbert has looked great connection wise to his receivers this year. Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, these guys are big time players that I didn't expect that level of explosiveness from the Chargers. If this was the Chargers of old, I'd be very hesitant to back them in this spot. I might try to get sharp with Commanders. But Jaden Daniels might not even be 100%. We don't really know what his status. What was his injury even?
I thought it was like a hamstring type of thing. I'll look it up.
Sometimes those injuries where they just bring them back, it might be a nagging injury that like shows up later in the game, and I don't want to have to back that side of a banged up quarterback, especially with Terry McLaurin's injury status. More than likely, probably not going to play. We have no idea recording this earlier in the week what's going to happen there. But I don't want any part of the Commanders in this one. Just too many injury concerns, and their defense. I mean, come on, man. You got carved up by Atlanta. That's not a good spot. I don't that doesn't breed me any confidence in this one. So give me the Chargers. I'll lay the points with them.
Yeah, it was a knee sprain. I think, if I'm not mistaken, McLaurin is the hamstring. I mean, obviously, we remember Jaden Daniels getting injured on Thursday Night Football against the Packers. Finished that game. Well, that's where the injury started from. I've been going
Yeah.
back and forth on the total here. I I like the under. I think I want the under at 48.5. Not my favorite play of the week, but I think you got two hungry defenses, especially. Two defenses that didn't look good. You touched on the Commanders not looking good against the Falcons, and the Chargers, they didn't really, I mean, they looked okay against the Giants, but again, you lost their rookie QB. I think Harbaugh gets their defense fired up, and we know this is a Chargers defense, but one of the top scoring defenses in the NFL. And with the Commanders, are able to normally move the football with Jaden Daniels, but they don't normally allow touchdowns in the red zone. And I could see them bowing up once again, and maybe we see a field goal fest here. Commanders defense, a little concerning that Michael Penix and that offense got everything going against them, but again, they're running again into a hungry team that was coming off a 30-0 loss. So you would expect their offense to be locked in. I think both defenses show up. 48.5 is a high total. I think it could be sweaty when it comes down to it, but I do like leaning the under here. I do like the under. I also like your Chargers angle as well. I don't have a good confidence on that side or total. But let's get into our final two games of the week. We get to a primetime Sunday Night Football. New England Patriots are on the road at Orchard Park taking on the Bills. A little AFC East battle here. Buffalo 8.5 point favorites, over under at 49.5. Logan, I'm actually going to be on the over. Took an under just now. I'm on the over here. I don't really want to try to get cute with Buffalo or try to get sharp, taking the Patriots, hoping they can backdoor, keep this one close. What I've seen out of the Patriots offense, they don't really know what they're doing with the running back room. And so instead of running the ball, they just start chucking it. And sure, last week against the Panthers, it was like, all right, fine, we can run it against them. They don't really stop the run well, but I think you'll see a lot of throwing here. I think the Patriots, their drives might be quick because they're just chucking it. Drake May making plays. People say, he's all the brand Josh Allen. Maybe that's not nice. But I do think that he can make some plays and score on this Bills defense, which is still banged up. I think the Bills offense at home, they can put up a 30-40 spot here on a Patriots defense that looked good against Bryce Young, but Bryce Young just can't read a defense. That won't be the case here. Josh Allen will carve this team up. So I do love the over here. But Logan, what do you like?
We're on the same side on this one. I
Okay.
really couldn't get there with Buffalo. Also couldn't really find an angle where I take the Patriots plus all those points. I agree with you. I think we see a lot of points in this one. This is not your Patriots of old. This is not the Bill Belichick. Let's play time of possession. Let's grind out the game. No, this Patriots offense is fun. It's explosive. They score. They put up a lot of points. And as you mentioned, if they're off the field, they're off the field pretty quickly. It's not going to be a long drive that results in a field goal. It's going to be a quick strike, 30, 40-yard play because that's what they did. I read that Panthers game to a T. I said their explosive offense matches up terrible against Carolina's defense. I also think the same could be said. Now, Buffalo's defense is better. Of course, they're better. But they're still not. I don't think they're going to really be able to limit those red zone possessions for New England. I think they're still going to be able to, pay them off. I love Travion Henderson. Hopefully, he finds his way back in the end zone. As you mentioned, Josh Allen, he puts up points. The Bills can be up 21 points and they're still going to be throwing. Why? Because that's what they do. And that's what they do against divisional opponents that they want to make a statement against. They think New England's coming. They think New England's got some confidence. Boom, here's 35 on your head. Why? Because they wanted to. Give me the over. Love that.
Yeah, sometimes just those divisional games, they just want to stick it to you. And we can see
Yep.
that being one. Let's move to our final game of the week before our best bets of the week, Logan. As we go to Monday Night Football, October 6th, the Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of my favorite bets of the week, and almost was my best bet of the week, was in this game. And I don't know where you'll stand on it. And I think the Jags could cover this one, but I'm going to fade their team total under. I have a lot of team totals on my card. I like their under 21.5. I like what Liam Cohen's been doing. And I love what their defense has been doing. So that's why I think they could cover this one with the Chiefs on the road. Coming off a great week. I could see maybe them struggling a little bit here. But I'm just not 100% sold on the Jags offense against a very good Chiefs defense. I mean, we saw, besides the first drive to Lamar Jackson, they bottled up that defense. We saw what they did to Russell, or that offense. We saw what they did to Russell Wilson. Had a pretty good game against Jalen Hurts. I mean, this has been a very good defense outside of really that first week against Justin Herbert and the Chargers in Brazil. They've really looked. Steve Spagnuolo has the team clicking on all cylinders. And when push comes to shove, I don't trust Trevor Lawrence to convert on third down. He just hasn't had the right connection. It's been and no BTJ, no Travis Hunter. He's really going to rely heavily on Strange. And I think Strange can only get him so far, maybe to the red zone. But when they get to the red zone, they're going to shore up and be like, Strange ain't scoring a touchdown, make a tough, tight throw into a tight window. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence can do it. So I'm fading him. Team total under 21.5. But Logan, what do you like here? You trying to get sharp on the Jaggies?
Yeah, you read my mind. I just the fact that
I don't
this
hate
is
it.
the fact that this is a lone Monday Night Football game, the standalone game. That's not we don't have a Monday Night doubleheader. If Chiefs, if you just hit that Chiefs -3, 3.5 button, and that's free and that pays out, well, congrats to you. I just don't think it's that easy. Once again, I've picked a lot of chalky spreads, a lot of favorite spreads, but I have to pick and choose my spots to get sharp. Being on the road, in Jacksonville, big time spot for Jacksonville. You can put the league on notice if you beat Kansas City at home. Let's not act like this Kansas City team was playing great prior to that Baltimore game where Lamar Jackson leaves early. Okay, what do we really take away from that game? I think offensively, Kansas City can take away a few things. The fact that they got Worthy involved, great for them. A little bit of running game there. Still not a whole lot, though. Pacheco, Kareem Hunt is still not that explosive of a running game. And that Jags defense, I mean, they're impressing me. They simply are. The way they were able to make those stops down the stretch against the 49ers, that's on the road. Very good 49ers team that yes, I know they're banged up, but they still made those stops. Why can't they get to Patrick Mahomes? Why can't they make those stops in this spot? This is a big step up spot for them, and they're the hungrier team. Kansas City's been there. They've done that. I don't care. Give me Jacksonville plus the points. I think they should be on upset alert as well. I think a sprinkle on their money line is totally in the realm of possibility.
And the Jags, like I said, could have been my best bet of the week last week, and they were number 2. Should have made it. I hope they cover for you, but hopefully they don't score more than 21 points. But Logan, it is time for our best bet of the week. And since you cashed last week and I did not, we'll give you the floor to give out your best bet of the week. We know what game it is, but what's the pick going to be? Floor is yours.
I mentioned I have some chalky spreads on my card, and this one is no exception. It's the chalky spread, but I absolutely love this pick. It's going to be the Colts, and I'm weighing the 6.5 with them. For you kind of touched on it, Austin. I mean, what the Raiders had success with last week, was it good Raiders or bad Bears defense? I'd argue more bad Bears defense, because Genty just looked unreal, and that was a big takeaway was the Raiders were able to win that upfront battle. Well, the Indianapolis Colts are a much better defense up front. They will be able to stop Genty, bottleneck him, and then on the other side, defensively, for the Raiders, do I really see them being able to stop Jonathan Taylor? No, I really don't. I think that's kind of where Daniel Jones fell apart a little bit in that Rams game. Really tough loss. Again, oh my gosh, we can talk about Adonai Mitchell, dropping the ball right before the goal line. It was just a weird game. It was like never meant to be their game, and it was after that play. The wheels just fell off for that Colts team. Just lost a ton of momentum, and they faced a very talented Rams team on the road. Got to table that one. Back at home against the Raiders, West Coast team traveling East Coast a little bit. Out from Vegas to Indianapolis. Hate the spot for the Raiders. They're going to get outmatched in this one. We're gonna see it play out just like that. Raiders lose this game by at least a couple touchdowns. I love the Colts as my best bet of the week, and also my leading rusher of the weekend, Jonathan Taylor. Big Jonathan Taylor fan of this weekend. But Austin, what are you rolling with?
Yeah, like we said at the top of the show, if we go 2-0 on this best bet, so if Logan's Colts spread cashes and my Bucks plus 3.5 cashes, we'll give away $25. Comment down below your favorite person to lead the NFL in rushing yards just on Sunday. We don't want a Thursday person, although I guess you could comment a Thursday night football person. Just comment it before the game. But let's talk all about the Buccaneers. Now, it is a tough spot, no doubt about it, having to travel on the go into the West Coast and face the Seahawks team that's very good. But I think this is a very good Buccaneers team. I know Bucky Irving is currently questionable. We'll see if he misses. I don't really care. Rashad White is still a very capable back, and so is Sean Tucker, the backup. I think the Buccaneers are just as good, if not better, than the Seahawks. Now, they are in a tough spot here, having to travel, like I said, but the Seahawks had long rest here coming off a Thursday night game. But still, I look at the Bucs and Baker Mayfield, when push comes to shove, he makes plays. And I think he's able to make plays here, even against the good, talented Seahawks defense. What I think will be the difference here is that we're going to see a lot of Sam Darnold getting under pressure. You're going to see Todd Bowles blitzing him like it's going out of style. We put under pressure, and only so often can he throw it to JSN. I think that maybe he throws an interception, maybe it's a pick six or something like that, just by throwing it heavily to JSN. One of those times they're going to jump it. I think the pressure gets to him. And also, this is a Seahawks team predicated on establishing the run. Very hard to run against this Buccaneers front. With Vita Vea, he basically blows up every run. So Kazig K9 and Zach Charbonnet really struggling here. I really like the Bucks plus 3.5. If Logan and I both cash our best bets of the week, we'll give away $25. Go comment your favorite person to lead the league in rushing this week. Those are our picks. Let's have a great week. Let us know your favorite picks down below as well, the leading rusher. Let's hopefully do another $25 giveaway next week. Like I said, if you want to get all of our official picks, you can join the Dub Club. The link will be down below. $5, you get exclusive picks, you get exclusive parlays, and obviously you get every single pick we're putting our own money on. Thank you for tuning in. That's week 5, and we'll see us back on week 6 next Wednesday. See you then. Peace.